My name is Aaron Shabazz, and you're listening to the Invisible Hand Podcast. The world's ran by human nature, self-interest, and power. Let's get into it.
Niggas over here crying, oh my God, oh, this is fucked up. You're not even black. Shut the fuck up. Because the same people that oppress us, the police, the white people, the man, they look at me as black too. The difference between me and you is that I don't use that as a fucking excuse for why I'm not where I want to fucking be. I use that shit as motivation. A lot of you motherfuckers, just quite frankly, you don't got heart, man.
The same reason why Sudanese haven't been able to control their country and dominate because of certain oppression and poverty. It's the same shit that happened to blacks. The only difference is you don't have the same empathy for us as you have for your own people. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Aaron Shabazz with the Invisible Hand Podcast, and today we're going to be reacting to Myron Gaines talking about how black people have a victim mindset and how other groups are laughing at us. So we're going to see him. He kind of went off in this video. Let's get into it.
No, I'm not a hater. I just got a disagreement.
Go ahead.
I didn't like the way that, I just felt some type of way about the fact that, like, the civil rights movement made it possible for Bajans and Sudanese to, become great in this country. And then in the process of that sacrifice, it's like African Americans that getting shitted on by the same people that they sacrificed for them to get here.
Yo, you're funny, bro.
When did we ever make fun of the civil rights movement or anybody that helped
He's trolling.
black people achieve equality in the United States?
You trolling, right? Are you serious, bro?
No, I'm not trolling at all. The narrative is y'all don't talk about, you have said that black Americans are lazy, that they're soft, that they're pussy, and they're bitches. To put it in verbatim.
Well, that is not verbatim because I never said all black people are like that. I just said the black community likes to take on the victim mindset a lot of the times as to, civil injustices and use that as an excuse for why they're not where they want to be. You can't sit there and blame systematic racism and all these other stupid ass social buzzwords for why you're not where you want to be. You can't. When you have people that come into this country that don't even speak a lick of English, that end up owning businesses, end up making money, end up becoming millionaires, etc., and people over here crying about, oh, systematic racism, oh my God, no, this is fucked up, I don't get the same opportunities. You got people coming here from China, from Africa, from foreign countries that can't even speak the language, and they figure it out. What's your excuse? That's all I'm saying. But what I am saying is that we can't sit here and cry about the past, about what happened. We got to become better and understand that we got to look at the opportunities that we do have versus what we don't have.
Here's another problem that a lot of immigrants try to do. And this is not just black immigrants. This is Asians, Hispanics, any of them. You will hear them talking, immigrants, and they'll come in and think like, I don't know what's wrong with Americans. Why they're not taking advantage of this opportunity? If you go to my country, there's no opportunity. These guys are weak, right? And all this whole attitude that Myron's coming with. But here's the real reality. I could put the flame back on him. Myron, if it's just about buckling down and get it done, right? Then go back to Africa right now and have your people do what you're saying. What you're going to find out is not that easy to change the fate of entire people, especially when they have an indebted history. Africa's been conquered by imperialists. Okay? Africa in 25 years will have the largest population in the world. Right now, China and America is buying most of the infrastructure and financing most of the infrastructure in China. In 40 to 60 years, America or China might own Africa. So if you believe it's just about getting it done, then why did you have to come here? If it's that simple, why don't you take that same mindset back to Africa and tell them just get it done? You can't do it because it's not that easy to change the fate of 44 million people, especially with a history like ours. They built the entire country for 400 years of free labor. I think he needs to understand this because he's just brushing over this because his own personal ideology about no excuses. Yes, as an individual, you could be successful in America, but no one individual can make an entire group of people successful in America. Secondly, he's talking like there's no smart African Americans who approach life just like him. What he doesn't realize is there's always going to be a small percentage of smart people who change things, who get things done in a community, and the majority of the other people are just consumers. No different in the African American community. So these people he's talking about are the consumers of the African American community. But there's a whole bunch of African Americans building businesses, getting it done in politics, in civil rights, running for government, they've been a president. So you're talking about a specific segment of the African American community without having context. The context is this has a 400-year history, generational trauma, generational, basically low IQ, perpetual things that has been baked into the very fabric of the African American community. You can't just change it by giving somebody a rah-rah pep talk. If it was that easy, go back to Africa, go back to Barbados, go back to Sudan, right? And just tell people that same no bullshit attitude. If it was that simple, why did you come here? Why didn't you stay there and lead your country, right? And make the people change in your country. They can't do it in Barbados. They can't do it in Africa. So yet you think you have the right to come over here and do it in America. So that's the only issue I have with his mindset. Myron is super smart. I like his show. I respect him and I think he's intelligent, but it's short-sighted to talk this way. You're talking this way because one or two people were able to do it. What you don't realize, there's only 4.6 million Africans or African immigrants or black immigrants in America. That's only 10% of the black population. And the majority of immigrants who migrate to other countries are the best of the immigrants. So now you're taking the best of your immigrants, the best of the people in Africa who have the money because it's expensive to get over here, whether you're coming from China, Mexico, or any of them, right? You're taking them without Mexico to get over here, and you're comparing them to the entire population of blacks when everybody knows what they call the talented 10. Only a small percent of the population are going to do the majority of your production in society. So who are you talking about? Are you talking about all of black people, or are you talking about a very specific segment? You need to delineate who you're talking about. Otherwise, it's very disrespectful to come at black people publicly like this.
And people like to use that as an excuse for why they're not where they want to be. And I'm here to say that's fucking bullshit, bro. That's bullshit.
I'm a victim.
Like, we really got to get out of this victim mindset, because here's the thing. I'm telling y'all what the other races think about us, and they laugh behind the scenes. They ain't going to tell you that, though. But if someone's got to tell the uncomfortable truth, it ain't gonna be white people. I'll tell y'all right fucking now. White people in the background, they laughing. Yo, these fucking black guys, man. Oh, these black people, all they do is cry and complain. Ho, 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 ho. Oh, they're buying more Jordans. Ho, 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 ho. Oh, they're buying more designer. Ho, 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 ho. Like, they're laughing at you niggas, bro. Because they look at it like, yo, these fucking guys, all they do is cry and complain about their situation, and they don't necessarily want to be better, blah, blah, blah. And they just laugh about it. They'll never say it out in public, of course, because they don't want to be called racist or bigots or whatever. But I'll call it out because, yo, too many people have a victim fucking mindset. I'm saying what a lot of people wish they could say, but they can't because they're not colored, so they can't say this shit. You can't talk on black community situations because you ain't black. Okay, if I'm not a mathematician, I can't say 1 + 1 is 2? No. We got to operate in objective reality here and pull our fucking feelings out of it. A lot of people are living in poverty that happen to be colored because of their own fucking choices, not because of their color of their skin or where they grew up socioeconomically or anything else like that. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all niggas. I dealt with all the same shit you did. And I'm not going to sit here and cry about, oh, systematic oppression, oh, this other fuck shit. Stop being a fucking pussy, man. That's what it comes down to, because I've suffered the same shit you guys have, and I chose not to. Matter of fact, I have even more excuses, because not only did I get it for being black, I also got it for being Muslim. I also got it for speaking Arabic. I also got it because of the way I look. So I was being made fun of, being called a fucking terrorist on one end, and then also being called a fucking black guy on the other end, and being made fun of for being both. So I don't want to hear no fucking excuses. Okay? Because if the KKK comes after me, they get like a double kill, triple kill.
Here's the thing. I agree with his points. Anybody with half of a brain would agree with, hey, we don't want to hear a whole bunch of excuses. There's a certain segment of the black community that makes a lot of excuses, but they're not going to lead us out of this. There's also a large sect of the black community who are the leaders, who don't make excuses, who go to school, who do the things they're supposed to do. Here's the problem with that I have with Myron is he's talking in a vacuum. Black people who make these excuses, who do these things, are not just intelligent black people who choose to do this. These are generations of kids growing up without a father, growing up without quality education. And all of this stuff go back historically to how this country was founded. When you became slaves, they created an environment where they're perpetually producing underperforming people. And now if you fast forward today, these people have some level of lower IQ, bad culture, bad habits that have been baked into the fabric of who they are. And you cannot change that overnight by just saying, just do it, just change. I think it's irresponsible of you to try to chastise the entire black community without talking in context, without looking at the entire historical picture. That's disingenuous and short-sighted. Myron is not the first one that tried to do this. There's been lots of people that want to bring their aggressive attitudes and start to apply it to all of the black of America. And African Americans are not going to sit back and let you do it. You haven't earned the right to chastise black America. You're 32 years old. Your family are immigrants. We've been here for 400 years. You don't have the right to chastise all of America. We got people like Farrakhan that spent the last 40, 50 years of his life in civil rights and doing for black people. He has the right to talk greasy like this. You haven't earned the right to talk like this. You're 32 years old. You're known for the Fresh and Fit podcast where you got a whole bunch of Miami bimbos talking crazy. What makes you think you have earned the right to chastise all of black America? Some 32-year-old kid who wants to be an FBI agent for America. You haven't earned the right to speak like this. Now, with that said, is some of your points right? Yes, if you apply them to a certain segment of the African American community. But again, I challenge you, since you feel this way, if it's that easy, if that's all it takes, then why don't people, immigrants like yourself and all the other ones who come here, stay in their own country and fix their shit? Because Africa's way more fucked up than our condition in America. And Africa has over 1 billion people, or will have over 1 billion people. And you've been colonized, shipped off as slaves, and you want to come over here just because you're successful as an individual and basically condemn the entire community? If you're going to talk like this, then make sure you be very specific about who you're aiming it for and talk with respect. You don't get to disrespect us just because your skin is black. And I think that's the main point that's the main point of contention people have with Myron. It's not the fact that he's saying wrong things. He's not talking with respect. And every group of people that come over here think they can shit on black people. And we're not going to let you get away with it. That's basically what our beef is, fundamentally.
Niggas over here crying, oh my God, oh, this is fucked up. You're not even black. Shut the fuck up. Because the same people that oppress us, the police, the white people, the man, they look at me as black too. The difference between me and you is that I don't use that as a fucking excuse for why I'm not where I want to fucking be. I use that shit as motivation. A lot of you motherfuckers, just quite frankly, you don't got heart, man. You don't got fucking heart. You're a fucking bitch. You're a pussy. You want to cry about your situation. You're out here out fucking living on food stamps, got Section 8 housing and all this other shit. Why you gotta improve? I'm just chilling. Oh man, yeah, I'm doing. Fuck out of here, bro. Stop crying. I went through the same shit and I made something of myself. I grew up in a poor household with foreign parents that didn't even fucking speak English, making $8 an hour. My fucking dad getting robbed by people, being a cabbie in New York City. I don't want to hear no fucking excuses. None. That's all you motherfuckers do is cry, bro. That's all they do on fucking Twitter. Well, I'm really black because my parents were here in 1945 and they know Martin Luther King. Shut the fuck up. That's why foreigners come to this country and laugh at you niggas, bro. Real talk. Chinese people come to this fucking country. You know what they do? They open up a fucking Chinese food spot in the hood. The Indian people, they go open up a convenience store in the hood. The Arabs, they come into the United States. They go put a fucking liquor store in the hood, and them niggas can't even drink. They laughing at you, stupid fucks. Because you guys come into the store. Oh, hey son, let me get a pack of Hennessy. Yo, I only got 20 on me right now, bro. I know it's 50, but yo, do a hook a brother up. No, come back again with the money. They laugh at you niggas.
Here's the thing. Once again, see. His examples, liquor store, laughing, talking dumb, saying, bro, I only got $50. He's addressing a certain segment of the African American community. But he's talking publicly on his podcast as if he's talking to all of black people. And that's when it's disrespectful. I can easily go into white America and find a trader trash and say a whole bunch of crazy shit and rant on television about what they do. That's easy. That's what he's doing. But what he's not doing is the hard part. See, as an individual, America will let you be successful. But if a large group of blacks try to do something of significance, then the system will step in to block you. And that's what Myron don't understand, is that you're breaking one of the fundamental rules of power, of the 48 laws of power, right? And what that simply is, the divide and conquer. You want to separate yourself from blacks like every other group do. But Myron, don't forget, even in America, there's about 44 million blacks, and black immigrants only make up 10%. And you best believe if you disrespect us, you're going to be out there on your own. When your head get bust, when you get killed by the police, guess what community is going to be marching for you? 44 million blacks. So you could keep talking all greasy like you're not part of this community when you are. Now, with that said, let me back up a little bit. Is some of the hard-hitting facts he's saying is right? Yes. Do certain black people have victim mentalities? Yes. Do they need to hear what Myron's saying? Is yes. But I hope, Myron, that you understand that you haven't earned the right to talk this disrespectful about all of African Americans on television or on YouTube if you're not going to make caveats and say who you're talking about. And that's the issue people have, because I'm highly intelligent and well informed, and I don't appreciate you kind of paint us in a bad light, because a lot of immigrants do this. They come up here with their nose up. But once again, I have to go back to this. If you're so good, why'd you come here? And if you're still so good, go back to your country and change things. You can't do what's hard. And that's what you're asking us to do. You're saying, hey, even though an entire system was built around subjugating you as African Americans, you did 400 years of free work. From that free work, American white people, through the cotton gin, created a lot of capital, which was a competitive advantage, an unfair advantage they were able to develop from 400 years of a head start. They took that capital and they created industry. From that industry, they created one of the most largest capitalistic systems in the world. Capitalism means capital. So when new opportunities come up in America, new technology that allows generations to get rich, guess who's able to capitalize on it first? People who already have capital. What you don't understand is the true place of African Americans in this country from a capitalist perspective is very, very poor. They have like less than 1% of all of the wealth. So the reality in capitalism, in order to take advantage of opportunities, you have to have capital, and African Americans have no capital. The entire infrastructure and system has been built around keeping you basically in the lowest position possible. So this ideal that just stop complaining and get it done ain't that simple. America has a 400-year unfair advantage, and the only way to compete in America as a group, as African Americans, is you're going to have to create an unfair advantage. And I think that at this point, you could never catch up. The only thing you could do is revolution. Revolution of the mind, revolution altogether, because that's the only way African Americans will ever catch up in this country. The advantage is too wide. If you play by the rules and you play by the law and you play by the system, African Americans will never, ever, ever, ever catch up in America in a million years. Revolution, or otherwise you'll never catch up. And so my point about that is, even though I agree with a lot of what Myron's saying, this idea that you could just put your head down and work hard won't work. It might work for you or a couple people or a couple million black people, but for it to work for the significant portion of African Americans, 30 million African Americans out of 44 million, it would never happen. It would never happen. And so the reality is working hard and putting your head down won't solve the problem for the macro issue of blacks. That's the reality. You're falling into the trap of, I can do it, anybody can do it. That's not true.
Because you guys were born here with the opportunity, and they're making a killing off you stupid fucks. Because you guys speak English, born here, raised here, U.S. citizenship, and you're still a fucking loser. Going into a foreign nigga store, buying the fucking alcohol, crying and complaining about why you're not where you want to be, but you're drunk all the time off of fucking Hennessy. That's the truth in the black community. That's the fucking truth. You choose to be a fucking loser. Okay? And I don't want to hear nothing, because if I get pulled over by the police versus you get pulled over by the police, the only difference is that I'm not going to be a fucking retard. I know how to move. I'm going to tell him, how you doing, officer? I'm going to keep my fucking hands on the steering wheel. I'm not going to call him a fucking dirty pig and say all this other stupid shit. I'm going to walk off with no ticket. Your dumb ass is going to get in trouble because you want to sit there arguing with the police and say, defund the police, fuck the police, yeah. You create your reality based off of how you fucking behave, based off of how you act. Okay? So stop fucking crying about the situation. Yes. Does police brutality exist? Yes. Are police bias towards black people? Yes. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to add fuel to the fire and act like a fucking dumbass, pull out your phone and say, oh, you fucking racist pig? They're human beings too. And if they can fuck you over for you acting like an idiot, they fucking will.
So fundamentally, overall, you get the point. He's going off. I agree with his points if he's directing it toward the right group of African Americans. My only issue is he didn't delineate who he's talking about. Also, a lot of immigrants feel this way, but I think that sometimes they get ahead of themselves, because once again, if you go back to your country, you could take this same mentality over there that, hey, we don't make excuses, we get it done. Well, a lot of people come from Mexico, and there's a few Mexicans who become successful and build big businesses. If they get on TV talking like this, I can ask them why you didn't do that in Mexico. Oh, it's too hard. The city's broken down. There's too much corruption to do it over here, but over here you can do it. That's the point, that it's up over there because there's a Pacific group of people who have an issue with a Pacific group of Mexicans over there that made it super hard. Understand that enemy number one of the Mexicans over there, why you can't do it in Mexico, we're enemy number one in America. The same oppression that happened to certain groups of Mexicans in Mexico is happening to blacks over here. The same reason why you had to flee Mexico to come over here, it's the same shit that has happened to blacks. The same reason why Sudanese haven't been able to control their country and dominate because of certain oppression and poverty. It's the same shit that happened to blacks. The only difference is you don't have the same empathy for us as you have for your own people. That's the only difference. So my issue is, it's not that Myron's not wrong, he's just short-sighted. That this position that you feel, the reason you feel like this is because you have made a delineation between you being a black immigrant and being African American. Now all of a sudden you feel superior, you feel different, but you understand why Sudanese can't come up in Sudan. It makes sense. Yeah, it's very hard. I get it. It's super poor. This authoritarian XYZ. You understand. But you have no empathy for African Americans because you see yourself different. But let me tell you something, you are not. You are black in America, and that's it. And at the end of the day, there's 4.6 million black immigrants, and there's 44 million blacks collectively. If you're not with us, you don't got no protection. So that's my only point to Myron. But with that said, I want to back up and say, with that said, Myron is right if you direct it toward the Pacific group of blacks that you're talking about. And my only issue is you did not identify who you're talking to, because you do not have the right, you have not earned the right to come over here for one generation and think you have the right to publicly chastise all of black people, not just one segment that acts crazy. You haven't earned that. And so we haven't gave you that right. And if you come at us like that, we're going to hit back.
Hey guys, we're going to do a quick word from our sponsors. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll be right back. The future of legal betting is finally here. Place a bet using Bitcoin right over the phone. Unlike traditional gambling sites, every bet you make with us is guaranteed a 50% probability of winning. All of our bets are one-on-one against a real person and never the house. We offer some of the most unique bets in the industry. Bets like, will LeBron James win his 5th NBA title? Will Joe Biden be elected for a second term? Will Tesla be worth $1 trillion by the end of 2022? You can bet on if it'll rain tomorrow. You can literally bet on any future event. Text the phrase I bet to the number in the description, and I'll reply back with all of our available bets. Again, text the phrase I bet to the number in the description, and I'll reply back with all of our available bets today.